The first technique that we choose is decision analysis. The objective of decision analysis is to provide a structured and systematic approach to making decisions, especially when faced with complex or uncertain situations. The first Quranic verse is from Surah Al-Imran, verse 159. Allah said, "O Muhammad, you will lead with them, and if you had been rude and harsh-hearted, they would have disbanded from you. So pardon them and ask forgiveness for them and consult them in the matter. And when you have decided, then rely upon Allah. In that, Allah loves those who rely upon Him." From this Quranic verse, we can know that make decision after careful consultation, then trust the process and move forward with confidence. This principle in decision analysis highlight the importance of collaboration in decision making, but also trusting your choice once is made, even if the outcome is uncertain. Next, we're moving on to the tafsir or asbab al-nuzul. Ibn Kathir explained that the phrase consult them in the matter refers to the Prophet's request for advice and input from his companions. Despite having divine guidance and direct revelation from Allah, the Prophet does a shura with his companions on matters that affected the community as a whole. Why does the Prophet do a shura or consultation? The first one is because consultation strengthens decision and creates unity. The second one, mercy and kindness in leadership during shura brings people together and fosters loyalty. The third one, reliance on Allah during shura brings peace and certainty. And lastly, forgiveness and unity help the community to move forward together after the shura.
Next surah, which is Surah Ashura in verse 38. This verse is remarkable because it demonstrates how highly Islam regards cooperation and consultation. Listening to others, assessing their viewpoints, and working together to choose the best course of action are more important than making decisions alone. It is a lesson for all of us, not just for leaders. Now, let's see what Ibn Kathir, a respected Islamic scholar, says about this verse. He explained that even the Prophet Muhammad, who had direct guidance from Allah, would consult his companions on important matters. Why? It is because it fosters trust and unity. Second, it avoids autocratic decision where one person decides everything. And the third one is it balances the spiritual and practical sides of life. Through shura, decisions are not just fair, they are also guided by values like justice and teamwork. Okay, now let's dig deeper into why consultation matters, especially for leaders. First, it helps avoid mistakes because others might see things you don't. Second, it builds relationship. When people feel included, they are more likely to support the decision. And the third one is it promotes accountability. When everyone is involved, the decision is not just yours, but it's ours. Shura is not just a nice to have, it's a must have for fair and effective leadership. Now, let's apply this to the contemporary world. Decision trees and expected value are corporate decision-making tools that align with Islamic values. Decision trees represent possible choices and results, while expected values determine the average result in uncertainty. Companies consider the benefit and drawbacks of each option when deciding whether to launch a new product or improve an existing one. For example, when launching a risky product, companies weigh the chances of success and failure before deciding if the potential benefit outweigh the risk. Shura is about consulting others for a thoughtful and fair decision. For example, a Muslim-owned business might consult employees, partners, and community members before deciding whether to open a new branch or increase production. This collaborative approach, which reduces risk and meets demand, shows Shura in action. It's not just for businesses. Families, communities, and workplaces all benefit from involving others in decision, fostering trust and unity.
For the second technique, transportation techniques, the objective of this technique is to devise a transportation plan that satisfies capacity restriction at an origin and meets demands requirement at a location while minimizing total transportation costs. In first Quran verse means, surely the wasteful are like brothers to the devils, and the devil is ever ungrateful to his Lord. This means avoiding waste aligns with minimizing transportation costs. Efficient planning ensures resources like fuel, time, and financial costs are used responsibly. In Tafsir Asbabun Nuzul Abul Alam Maudidi, in his Tafsir, Tafhim Al-Quran, Maudidi explores the verse implications in a socio-economic and ethical context. Maudidi highlights that social and economic impacts of wastefulness is not merely a personal flaw, but a societal issue. Wastefulness worsens inequality by preventing resources from reaching those in genuine need. Maudidi elaborates on the Quran's comparison of wasteful individuals to shaitan. Shaitan rebels against Allah's commands and squanders the opportunity and abilities granted to him. Wasteful individuals similarly misuse their wealth, failing to fulfill their responsibilities toward others. Maududi underscores that Islam advocates for sustainability and responsible stewardship. Every resource, be it wealth, time, or natural blessing, must be used purposefully, avoiding unnecessary depletion or harm to others. Practical guidance, he encouraged believers to adopt a mindful approach to consumption, ensuring resources are allocated in a way that aligns with Islamic ethics and benefit the wider community.
Let's explore how systematic organization and planning shape transportation, drawing insights from Surah Al-Anbiya, verse 31. So, in this verse, it highlights systematic planning in nature, encouraging organized and logical transportation networks. Besides, proper planning also ensures smooth operations and optimal resource usage. From the tafsir of the verse, this verse also highlights natural planning through mountains for stability. The words from mountains or rawasiya are described as anchors that stabilize the earth's crust, preventing it from shaking excessively. This aligns with geological observations of mountains acting as natural stabilizers. Next is mountain passes as roads. The passes or fijaj refer to pathways or roads carved through mountains, making travel and transportation possible. And the last one is guidance in navigation. The phrase that they might be guided indicates both practical and spiritual guidance. For practical guidance, roads and passes through mountains help humans navigate their journeys and connect different regions. And for spiritual guidance, these signs of Allah's design remind people of His knowledge, power, and mercy, encouraging gratitude and obedience towards Him. Next, we move on to underlying concept of transportation techniques. The first one is optimization of resources, which means we need to efficiently using resources like fuel and time to minimize waste. For example, planning delivery routes to reduce fuel consumption. Next is cost minimization. It means lowering costs through route optimization and consolidating shipments. The last one is capacity management. We have to balancing supply and demand to avoid overloading or underutilization. The transportation system needs to be designed in a way that ensures capacity is adequate to meet demand without excess. Now look at the example. Mr. Da'wah Berhad wants to deliver inventory to each store they have, which is in east, north, south and west. But without optimization, trucks might take an inefficient route, which is from warehouse to store D, store A, store B, and lastly store C. However, with optimized route from warehouse to store D, store A, store C, and lastly store B, it can cutting trips from 10 to 7, which save 30% on fuel. And it also can reduce travel time and enables faster deliveries. And also, fewer trips can reduce vehicle maintenance and driver wages.